Hi everybody, this is Michelle at michellesizemore.com. That has one L in my first name if you're looking for my website. I'm a creative memories advisor, and today you'll learn how to make this super easy 2-page layout using paper from the Croptoberfest collection. This is using an accessory paper pack. You can only get this from an advisor, I believe. I think it is only sold in our back office, so you probably won't see this on the website, but you can just ask your advisor if you want to get this, and my email address will be on my website if you want to order some from me by email. Okay, so super quick and easy. This is everything I used to make this. You set this aside. I use this paper. Sorry, I'd actually already made a page with this and I sort of disassembled it just to teach you. But this is my last of this paper, so I don't have any more. So I'm just going to tell you what I did. I cut this brown down to a 7-inch piece with my trimmer. So I just would take my trimmer, put my paper in here. Well, I'll show you with this piece. Open my arm, make sure my little foot is out, make sure everything's level, put my paper in here, line it up at the 7-inch mark right there, make sure it's straight at the top, close it, and then I would cut with my straight blade down to get a 7-inch piece, which would look like this. I love this collection so much, I've used it up, so I didn't have another piece to teach with. So, this is going to be the background, and the brown piece is going to go here. So I'm going to put some repositionable tape runner on the back, just a few dabs all the way across in several locations, and then I'm going to mount this on top here, lining it up with all of the edges so you don't see any of that yellow and orange paper poking out past your brown. I'm going to rub that because I've got some random pieces of tape on there. Okay, so basically this is going to be the left-hand side page. The right-hand side page will end up looking like this. They're just mirror images of each other. So now I'm going to show you how to get this to put down the middle. You take your Border Maker system, which is right here, and the square link chain Border Maker cartridge. I'm going to remove it by pushing this button and gently pushing it out with my thumb from the bottom, and then I'll show you how to put it back together. Grab my brown cardstock. I always try to start with using scraps. Open up my paper tray holder. Open my magnetic arm. Put this in place. Line it up with all the edges of the paper tray holder, close my magnetic arm, and pop that in place. Now, normally this would go underneath there, but it was a cut scrap, so I'm going to try to see if it'll work. It should. I'm going to put my cartridge in here, pop it in place. My metal pieces are sticking out. I'm going to put the cardstock in right here, line it up starting closest to me. And I want my notches to match up right here. There's a blue and a white notch. And when they do match up, these fit together in grooves underneath. And then I'm going to punch, gently pull it out, plop it in place. It fits together. The notches match up. And you basically do that all the way down. And that did work. I would save this piece right here because there are always things I can do with that, and you'll see me do that on other videos. I'm going to set my scraps aside and set this aside because I don't need that anymore. And then I'm going to mount that down right here. I really like this Border Maker cartridge because it can be used on anything. It's not specific to a season or holiday. It just can be used on any kind of page. So I'm going to put my repositionable tape runner on the back here of this and just put it in little dabs all the way down. Try to hit each one of those squares, but you don't need to go all the way down with it, just little dabs. There we go. And then I'm going to mount that right here on top where the papers meet. Press it down and make it stick. Okay, and then I would do the exact same thing to the adjacent page. And basically you end up with mirror images of each other with your pages. And I would add my photos, and then I would add this decoration. So these are embellishments that come with the Croptoberfest collection that I used. Let's see. Okay. So basically, I'm just going to look at this and redo what I did. I put this on the bottom. It just looks like a piece of wood, and it wasn't quite long enough, so I added another piece and cut it. Grab my scissors just to make it longer. I wanted it to be a little bit longer, so I cut a little piece off there, put some tape runner on the back, and just made it a tiny bit longer. And then I made it look like these embellishments were sitting on top of it. I put this here, this here, this here, and this here. And I would put all those down with my repositionable tape runner, add my photos like this, and then I'm done, basically. Well, I would add a piece of ruled paper here. I would cut that to fit. It's already the right width at 6. It's about 6 1/4. And I need to make it about 2 1/2 going this way. So I would just grab my trimmer, cut it 2 1/2 inches, line it up at the 2 1/2 inch mark. I normally don't put my trimmer on top of my page. I'm just kind of in a hurry for the video. And then I would cut that. I would mount that right there and write in it with the brown pen. And then I've got a great 2-page layout that's super, super duper easy. And I didn't matte these photos. If you wanted, you could matte it like with this dark brown maybe. But I kind of like it without mattes. I think it looks nice. Okay, so that's how to do that. Now I'm going to show you another layout. Well, it's the same layout with different paper. I'm not going to create it. I'm just going to show it to you. I use the All-American Blast collection, which is our collection for 2025. This patriotic. It was released before, shortly before July, I think. And this is what it looks like. But basically, I use the same technique. The background paper is this fireworks paper. This is everything I use. So I love that paper. So that's the background paper. Then I cut this blue to 7 inches, which I've actually already done here. It ends up looking like this. I cut the blue to 7 inches and put it on top. Well, this is a little bit of a directional pattern. Not really. Well, kind of. The fireworks go like that. So I would do this side. So basically, the fireworks paper was my base. This is 7 inches wide, and I mounted it on top just like I showed you before. And then I added my photos, and I matted my photos with, the ones on the blue paper are matted in white. And that just kind of made the photos pop off that paper. And then I used this red and blue shimmer paper to matte these. I could have used white shimmer behind these, and if I did it again, I probably would, and then I have all shimmer, but you really don't notice it that much. And then I just added these embellishments here and cut my piece of ruled paper there. This is one of the embellishments, and there's a little hat somewhere in here that it basically looks like this. And just added that with tape runner and wrote with the black pen. So that's the exact same layout, two completely different looks. And I just want to encourage y'all, when you see me do a layout on my videos, just remember it can be used with any paper. So kind of think of a layout like a sketch. If you can picture in your mind it just being black and gray and white, and then you fill in the colors with whatever you like. I would say for this layout, I think it's good that this has a dark background and this has a lighter background, so they really contrast. And both of the patterns are like kind of small patterns. They're not like huge flowers or anything. So I liked how those went together. All right, thank y'all so much for watching my video, and I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Bye.